Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Mortgage Coach Tuesday call. I'm doing something a little different. Usually Tuesdays, I'm interviewing one person. Today, we're going to do a panel. We just launched the lead generation playbook on LinkedIn. If you're watching the recording of this, we'll put a link down below, and I'll show that in just a minute. So I invited, just some leaders, top producers from the Mortgage Coach community that are all, they get 80% or more of their business in the local community that they serve. They're primarily referral-based. And what are the lead generation strategies that they're implementing and executing? We've got one top realtor, Nicole Solari. Good morning, Nicole. How are you?
Good morning. Good, thank you.
Good. I think I'm going to have you go first. But before I have you go, I want to share a few things on my screen. If you guys could confirm that you can see my screen here in just a minute. Could you confirm that you can see my the LinkedIn article?
Confirmed.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So I wrote this, and I put the three reasons why I wrote it. And I'm not going to read out loud, but one, I do believe that there is a seismic shift taking place in the mortgage space, and referral-based local loan officers need to be more intentional and strategic than ever about getting to the consumer first, about lead development. It's something that you guys need to get sophisticated on. And when I say sophisticated, that doesn't mean complex. It just means intelligent. You really need to apply some intentionality. As my co-host today, I have Mr. Dan Keller. Good morning, Dan. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Good morning, community, Mortgage Coach community.
So I asked Dan to co-host this because he's always done a really great job of being intentional around lead development. While he's primarily referral-based local realtors, the way he's using social media, the way he's getting online reviews, the way he's implementing his business is where I think local referral-based loan officers need to go. Hey, Dan, before we bring in our first guest, any comments on the lead generation playbook that I posted yesterday?
Well, I think you're spot on. I think you're spot on bringing this to the marketplace. It's going to scare a lot of people. And I think the producers, the champions, are going to listen to this and they're going to take action right away. A lot of us are probably already doing the majority of these strategies and tactics in our business. But I really commend you for at least bringing this to people's attention, because it needs to be addressed. If you're not doing business this way right now, you better start, or you better plan on doing something else in the next 3 to 5 years.
Well said. So the way I created this, I want you to rate yourself. As you're going through the 6 principles, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Where do I rate? They're just principles, like experimentation. Am I testing, measuring, and iterating fast? So rate yourself on the principles. And then today, we have 8 core strategies. My guess is, now that I've rolled out this playbook, I'll probably add a strategy at the end of this call. And as you guys know, we'll iterate this playbook based off the feedback of the community over the next 30 days. So if you do have an idea or a strategy that's not covered, or there's a principle that you think we're missing, let us know. Please share it. So what I'd like to do, I've already got Kelly Zitlow on this call. And Kelly, I'll bring you in a few minutes. I've got Rick Shearer, $100 million producer out of Boston. We've got a few other top producers joining the call throughout it. But Nicole, one of the top strategies we had, which was helping realtors with open houses, you're an expert. In fact, I referenced my last interview with you in this. So one, for anybody that hasn't heard your story, just tell us what market you're in, a little bit about your production, and then share how are you getting leads at open houses, and how can mortgage professionals best serve you?
Gotcha. So yes, I'm here in Northern California in the Napa Solano market. I've been doing this for 4 years now. Started with a big brand. This past year, opened my own brokerage, and am growing my team out. My personal production, I'm on track to do about 200 sides this year. And hopefully next year, my goal is to double that and help 400 families. So big, giant growth goals.
Wow.
Huge. And I know open houses has been a cornerstone referral strategy. And, when we put out this project, we keep hearing that as, let's just say, one of the top 5 channels. So if you could just walk us through how are you getting leads at open houses, and how are loan officers supporting you?
Yeah, so I've always been soft touch, warm approach with open houses. I feel like the reason I was so successful with open houses is because I'm very real. I'm a very real person, and I front load the open house with a lot of information. And part of that is having the lender there with me and having the tools and the resources to be able to run numbers in real time. And I'm just giving information. I'm all about I think Brian Buffini says it, what you give away in slices, you get back in loaves. And I've never been a pushy person. I've never asked people to sign in, and that typical experience that you get when you walk through an open house. And when you give information, you end up getting business. So thanks to my partners, my lender partners, I've been able to become an expert on what it takes to qualify. I've been able to talk about DTI. I've been able to talk about those things, just educating myself so that I can educate the consumer. And then the use of the technology with the total cost analysis just in real time is just so powerful.
So I want to set a standard, for loan officers that are watching this and they say, okay, open houses is a channel or isn't. How many leads should them and their realtors be getting out of every open house? And how many open houses does it take to equal a transaction? I want to set the bar for folks as to where it could be.
Yeah, so I have sat at open houses for 4 hours straight and not had a single person come through. And I've been like, shoot me, this was such a waste of time. But then I've also, on the flip side, sat at 2-hour open houses and had 50 people come through. And what I tell my agents and I tell my partners who are doing them with me, it just takes one person. It just takes one solid lead to come through that open house that you convert into a buyer. Then your time was worth it. So I'm not necessarily about quantity. It's more about the quality of the person. And you want to attract real buyers. You don't want to attract the looky-loos. I've got a lot of agents that are like, ooh, I want to do that new $1 million listing that you have. And I'm like, this is Solano County. How many $1 million buyers do we really have? I was very strategic about the selection of open houses that I would put myself into because I want to attract the kind of people that I want to work with. I want to attract the VA buyer. I want to attract the first-time home buyer. I want to get those FHA and VA loans. So I'm going to go and sit at an open house that's under our county conforming limits, right? So then I can get those quick, easy, show them 3 houses, get them into contract. I don't want to work with the $2 million luxury buyer. Again, that's just my particular strategy. Every market's different, but that's where I would go, and I would do 2 or 3 open houses a weekend, and I would end up with 10 new borrowers.
So guys, did you hear that? And highly recommend, if you want to hear more on this, listen to the interview with Nicole. But she did 197 sides last year, 4 years as a realtor. And even in her first year, her #1 referral source was open houses. So I just think it's one of those strategies. If you're new to a market, you could kill it with open houses. If you're a new realtor or loan officer, you could kill it with open houses. And Nicole is evidence of that. And again, list down below, I'll have some links to it. Kelly Zitlow, before I bring you in and ask you some questions, do you have any quick questions for Nicole? You're muted, Kelly.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
All right, good. Nicole, how many open houses are you doing in a month?
Well, as I was talking to Dave about in my last interview, I actually don't really do open houses anymore. The great thing about doing open houses is when you get to a point in your business where your phone starts ringing and you're not actually having to be out there. My book of business now is probably 80% referral based now. When I was trying to build my brand and build my book of business, though, I was doing 5 or 6 open houses a week. So I would call them like Thirsty Thursdays. I would call them Wacky Wednesday, Twilight Friday, and then your traditional Saturday and Sunday open houses. For us here in Solano County, school gets out early on Wednesday. So I would do Wacky Wednesday. I'd find a listing by a school. I'd put my open house signs right there at the pickup line, and I would drive traffic right from the pickup at school.
I love that. That's great creativity, no doubt. So now your brokerage is probably still doing open houses. You're just having buyer's agents sit them, right? That's awesome.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Cool. So guys, listen to that last interview. Listen to the one before that. I've interviewed Nicole countless times. Nicole, feel free to jump back in a few minutes. Kelly, before I ask you my first question, Dan Keller, any debrief on that, or any takeaways, or any quick questions you have?
Yeah. So when you mentioned that you are looking for the ideal buyers, ideal borrowers when they come through your open house, like VA and FHA, maybe USDA, if that's the area, do you have specific information set out on the table at your open houses? Like you said, information is everything. So do you address those types of people to attract them when they come in?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, just having the app open and being able to run different scenarios, you know, a lot of borrowers have this misconception that you have to have 20% down to buy a house. It's this old school mentality, like that's what their parents told them. I can show them in real time that they could actually get 105% loan where we can cover your closing costs. I can show them the new Fannie Mae products. I can show them everything. And I usually do it on technology. I'm not a big flyer person. I like to do most things paperless. The same thing with VA. I let them know up front, you know, here's what you need. I have a list of needs for VA borrowers that we've put together that's co-branded with my lender. Like make sure you have your DD-214s, like make sure that you know that you're going to need a clear pest. And I actually have a VA program where I will cover up to, depending on the purchase price, a certain amount for any VA required repairs. So when a VA borrower walks in, and maybe they're even a first-time VA borrower, they're going to hear that from me, and no other realtor in the area that I know of is doing that.
No, it's incredible. Yeah.
Hey, Dave, can I ask a quick question?
Go for it, Rick.
So, you know, as us as loan officers are trying to help our real estate partners set themselves apart, can you give us one or two tips or tricks that you feel you do in an open house that the open house next door isn't doing? Like, how are you setting yourself apart? Maybe just your number one thing that's allowing you to convert more.
I think it still goes back to having that information. And as mortgage professionals, what you guys can do is you can actually put that information together for your realtor, and you can split the costs of, let's just say $500 appraisal, or split the cost of any VA required fees, and put that flyer together for them so that you can come to their open house. Maybe it's a realtor that you've even been targeting for a while, and they've been saying, no. You show up with those flyers co-branded and say, look, anybody that walks through the store that we can work with together, I'm going to give $500 to. Would you be willing to do the same thing to convert a buyer? I think that would be so awesome. If the lender walked in and did that at my open house, I'd be like, yeah, sure. It's free $500 for my borrower. It gives them more buying power. It gives them more leverage, gives them more reason to want to work with me.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So let's wrap up on open houses. Nicole, if you can stay on, you're welcome to stay on. If you have to go, feel free. Wally Elderberry, I'm going to bring you in about 15 minutes, and I'll make sure you're out at the time that we aligned on. And Kelly Zitlow, I have unmuted you, so let's put you on the hot seat for a minute. So first, if you could just talk about the lead channels that you have, like where are you getting most of your business? You can just rip that off real quick.
Yeah, so 70% of my business still comes from the real estate community. I am big into education in that sector and have been for many years. I incorporate and use video religiously into just disseminating information out to our community. And the primary focus there has been the real estate community in particular. The other 30% of my business comes from past clients or current client referrals. So that's it.
Got it. And then are you doing any home buyer events, any first-time home buyer workshops, anything else from an event perspective?
We're not doing any events at this point, no.
And are you getting any referrals from open houses?
We are. So we will partner with our agents on certain types of open houses. And really, it all comes down to, like Nicole said, the education that's needed to be able to convert buyers when they're there. So we certainly can do mortgage coach cost analysis. If we know a certain price point, we can put together down payment assistance program options and things like that that can be useful to the realtor as they're hosting those open houses. So that's been helpful. But honestly, I think, the big thing that is shifting in my world when we think about lead gen is what are we doing as loan officers? And I know that's the topic of this call, to make sure that we are progressing with where the industry changes are happening. And a lot of that is with just social media and SEO. So we are heavy into education, and now really trying to take what I've been doing with the real estate community and take that education directly to consumers in our community in general. So we're revamping our website. We're focused on tag words. We're focused on SEO. We're focused on organic searches. It's just an evolution of what we've been doing to where we need to go.
And so getting more ROI and leads out of your YouTube channel and your online reviews. So by the way, folks, I interviewed Kelly. Well, I've interviewed Kelly lots of times. I'll put the link down below to the one that was just on her YouTube channel, because she truly has one of the absolute best, highest quality, call it referral-based local mortgage pro YouTube channel, Kelly Zitlow. Check it out. So Kelly, why don't we focus on that, what you're doing from a video perspective, community perspective to get to the consumer? Because I do think in the past it was something you did more for realtors, and it sounds like you're upgrading the voice so it's more consumer direct. Is that right?
Absolutely. So historically, what I've done since 2014 is 50 weeks out of the year, I send out a video email to the real estate community. It's 2 minutes or less, and it is some type of value add or something that can help them in their business. Maybe it's something that happened in a process that I want to share with them that will protect them, their seller, the buyer. Maybe it is chunking down a program. Maybe it's chunking down part of our purchase contract. Whatever that is, it's all real life stuff. So it's pretty easy for content, but that has really, really helped not only just with the engagement with realtors, but just help them with their business. And it's short and sweet, and that was a great success. So now the evolution is to take that same type of content and make it more general, so not necessarily real estate focused, and to help just people in the community. So we're really leveraging now the same video content just in a different way through, like I said, the website. We're getting ready to launch our new website in about 8 weeks. And with the sole focus of leveraging all of that content that I'm already doing, just getting it out to different people.
Love it. Well, I know you do a great job of that. And before we let you go, because I know you've got to run to another meeting here in a minute, I would love to know what you're doing from a past customer perspective. And I do know that at the point of sale, you're delivering that total cost analysis. So it's a wow. Are you still updating it throughout the transaction based on the last call that we had?
Yep, absolutely.
So by the way, down below, I'm going to put a link to Kelly Zitlow Referable Borrower Conversation, where you can really see how she's positioning using total cost at the point of sale and how that creates a client for life. And what are you doing right now with past customers? Because let's face it, I mean, that is, I think, the number one strategy that every local referral-based loan officer needs to do to get consumer direct. What are you doing with past customers?
We're reaching out. We're calling them. We're not forgetting about them. This is not rocket science, you guys. I mean, it's crazy, but in the end, I mean, we just have a system that we are, contacting our past clients, checking in with them. We've got their mortgage coach from where we closed the transaction. So we're able to reference that. We're just talking about life and what's going on in their lives. And if there's an opportunity, great. And if not, that's okay. It's all about the engagement. It's not whether you're just getting a loan out of that conversation. They need to know that you are there as their lifetime resource.
Love it. And by the way, where do you think you are in terms of optimizing the opportunity with your past customers?
I missed the first part of that, Dave. What was that?
Where do you think you are at in terms of optimizing the business you're getting from your past customers currently?
So even if I can increase that by 10%.
Got it. So Dan, any questions for Kelly?
Can you guys hear me okay? I think I'm muted. Yeah,
we can hear you, but Kelly, I think something is going on your side. There's a lot of noise interference. And when I mute you, it goes away. Did you change anything on your side, Kelly?
Nope.
All right. Try to ask me the question now and see if
Yeah, I'm getting an echo when you talk as well.
Just go ahead and ask the question, Dan.
All right. So Kelly, you're doing the annual reviews with your past clients. Are you reaching out like 30 days past closing, 60 days past closing, just to check in to see how everything's going with their new mortgage?
Yeah, so we do a 30-day post-closing call just to check in. Did they get their notification of the loan being transferred or their first payment coupon, and just check it in, how's everything going, any issues, how are the kids, that kind of stuff. So a 30-day call, and then the annual mortgage review call is currently that post-closing process.
Cool.
All right, Kelly, we are going to let you join. Thank you so much for coming in today's call.
You're welcome.
Any last words of wisdom before you leave?
I think it all comes down to just taking action, guys, getting your game plan, whatever's fitting for you, have the discipline to execute, and go get them.
Love it. Hey, take care, Kelly. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So that was takeaways from Kelly Zitlow. I'm going to put a link down below to her referable borrower conversation or referable borrower experience. Also, I'm going to put a link down below to her YouTube channel because her YouTube video is just a great resource. So Rick, we will bring you in the last 30 minutes, but we've got to get Wally in and out of today's call. Dan, before I bring in Wally Elderberry, is there anything you wanted to say or debrief on from our conversation with Kelly?
No, I mean, it's pretty clear what her business looks like. So it's just one great loan officer that has a niche, and she's killing it with video and killing it with keeping in touch with her realtor partners and her past clients. So no, I think we keep the conversation rolling and learn more about Wally and Rick.
Sounds good. So the one thing I want to say to everybody, just to get you focused, she's killing it at the front end. That wow. She's after the close doing something within 30 days, cementing the wow and positioning the client for life relationship. And then, she said it's just simple. She's just keeping in touch with people, showing she cares, and doing annual reviews. It really is simple. But by the way, we all know it's not easy to do consistently. It takes a lot of discipline and a lot of leadership with a team. Wally Elderberry, thanks for joining us, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me. Can you hear me okay?
We can. So we're doing a roundtable. We're trying to focus on the best lead gen strategies for the local mortgage pro. That local being defined as any mortgage professional is getting 80% of their business from their local community and primarily referral based. And you're interesting because you've got great realtor relationships. I've interviewed Wally a lot of times. You've positioned yourself as a conversion partner with realtors. So you're helping them convert leads, and that's part of your value prop. And then you're killing it with your past customer strategy. By the way, is that still doing really well, since the last call I did with you?
Yes. We did 80 million last year as a team, and we're already at 60 million year to date. So
wow.
We're up almost 30%. And 25% of the 30% that we're up is because annual mortgage review campaign.
So how many loans, I don't know if you know the number of loans, have you got as a result of your past customer? Just ballpark it.
I'd say north of 30, probably maybe even closer to like 40, but I can get you the exact number. So I'd say between 30 to 40 is a good safe number.
Well, community, I have been interviewing Wally since he, committed to that. Last year, he said, hey, I want to increase my business, so I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm going to add more resources and discipline to my past customer database. And, it sounds like really the amount of business that you're up is solely because you put that focus around your past customer database. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely, 110%. Annual mortgage review campaign is something that I should have done decades ago, and in my 21st year in the mortgage business, and I'm just starting it. So if you're out there and you're closing loans, just understand it's never too late. 21-year veteran, and I'm just learning how to build a database. So the biggest thing is you've definitely been a big help. Total cost analysis, annual mortgage reviews also definitely been a big help. But that's even phase one. I'm really excited to see what phase two looks like. So phase two to me in 2019, I'm going to have a really solid handle on mastering the relationships with financial advisors, CPAs, and family will attorneys. 2018, my number one phase one goal was getting with my past clients and letting them know, hey, I closed your loan. I've failed in following up. I love the opportunity to earn your loyalty over the time by earning your business again. So that's definitely been really great for phase one, and obviously that's why we're up almost 30% year to date.
Love it. And then if you could just describe to everybody what you and your team do to support agents from a lead conversion standpoint. And then Dan, I'm going to throw the questions to you. And then Rick, I'm going to give you a chance to ask Wally a question too.
Yeah. So here's my last 4 years, or last 5 years. So 36 million, 45 million, 80 million. So from 45 to 80 million. It's about $100 million in production. And that 45 to 80 million, I really started getting in the lead gen space. And with that lead gen space, I really started focusing on real estate mega agent teams that have ISAs, inside sales agents, and that really converted a lot of leads. So 2015, I didn't have an ISA team. 2016, I hired a specialist for my team that helped me build out my ISA team. And today, only maybe about 10% of our business comes from lead generation, like true leads that we gather online. But I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, having an ISA department that refers back to real estate teams north of 100 referrals on a monthly basis consistently, again, north of 100 referrals on a monthly basis consistently, is a big, big, big reason that I do business with the top #1 real estate, Keller Williams real estate team in each city that I work in. And the biggest reason of that is we actually help them convert cash deals back to them. People that are listing the house that I can't do the mortgage on, obviously they're listing a house. People that already have lenders that they're committed to, and also clients that we've pre-qualified. So there's 4 sets of referrals I can get back to a real estate team simply from day one. Now, like for instance, last month, the real estate team came to me and said, "Hey, Wally, A, B, and C lender down the street just said that they want to do $5,000 a month in Zillow advertising with us. Can you match that?" I said, let me research a couple things and I'll circle back with you. We pulled up the pipeline. We've been referring back to them between $40,000 to $47,000 a month in potential commissions to them. So I just simply said, hey, what would you rather have, a $5,000 joint marketing check for co-marketing leads with you, or a $40,000, $45,000 potential on a commission for your buyer's agents? What would you rather have? They said bye-bye to that other lender, and I still don't write a check for any leads. We manage somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1,500 to 2,000 leads on a monthly basis, new leads that come in on a monthly basis. What's great about that today, again, it feeds me and my team very, very well, but also having a programmer and a coder on staff, I'm actually programming, coding my real estate team CRMs. What that allows me to do even further from there allows me to get very intertwined with them as a team, that if someone came in and offered $25,000 a month cash, they still wouldn't leave me because I've helped set up their systems. I can stop right there. Does that make sense so far? Do you have any questions about that?
It does. I do want to say a couple things, and Dan, to you. So when I put this lead conversion playbook together, #1 is optimizing your clients in escrow, and we'll close on that idea. We've talked about how to make your past customers your #1 priority. I did have down here, you'll see there is a buy lead strategy with realtors. What Wally's talking about is this, be a lead converter for your realtors. So that's strategy #3. I put a link to one of Wally's past interviews on this. Dan, any questions for Wally before we need to let him jump out?
Yeah, I think I want to go back to the annual review campaign, because I remember you interviewing Wally at I believe at Mastery last year, and you committed on video that you were going to commit to this initiative, and you've done it. One of the objections that I'm sure a lot of listeners right now, and I felt the same way, is that, hey, I just did a mortgage for you last year or 2 years ago at 3.875, 30-year fixed, 20% down. Today rates are at 4.65, 4.75. So getting it through our mind why we should call them to do a review. Walk us through that, your mindset, and if it's not putting them in a better mortgage or a different mortgage, what's your talk track like?
Yeah, will you role play with me, Dan?
Sure.
All right, so I'm calling you. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Dan, it's Wally with Fairway Mortgage. How are you, bud?
Hey, Wally, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, we're coming up on between the 2 to 3 year mark since we closed your loan last. I wanted to reach out to past clients around that mark and to simply say, how are things going? How is the escrow account performing? Are there any shortages that I can kind of help you there? And just simply, if I've made a mistake the way I structured your mortgage prior, obviously life changes. Is there anything I can help customize these times? So we can stop right there, the role play. But here's I went three different lanes, right? Mm-hmm. How's your escrow account? So I can get a referral to my insurance agent, which gets me a referral back down the road. Or I can help them get homestead exemption if they forgot to file for that, right? So there's an avenue I can go, a conversation I'm giving, right? Which in return, they're going to want to give me the referrals back. Then number two, the other leg in the other two legs you can kind of go on is, hey, tell me about how has everything kind of been performing? Have there been any life changes that you've had in your life? To me, candidly, Dallas-Fort Worth has been appreciating a good 15% a year for the last 3 years. And most families don't understand what their house is really worth, but they're paying these credit card debts or student loan debts or car loan debts, any other debts. So, I mean, a good chunk of that, maybe about 25% of the loans that we've been doing through an annual mortgage review campaign was this debt consolidation, like a Texas cash out loan. So just because rates are higher today than they were when we closed a mortgage loan, at the end of the day, like I had one deal this morning, the guy was at 3.375 on the 30-year. I mean, that was like, 2016-ish, somewhere in that range. So, and he went to 5.25 rate on a 30-year, again, from 3.375 to 5.25, simply because it eliminated $1,800 a month. Eliminated $1,800 a month in minimum credit card debt. Like there's many, many, many clients out there. There's many families out there. I've just been so head focused, purchase, that I've just been neglecting that portion of the database of it.
Love
then
it.
the last leg that I stand on is just simply, hey man, did I do a good job? Did I mess up anywhere on the mortgage? Where can I improve? How can I help position you to where you win more? And it's a vulnerable, transparent stage. When I tried to do it early in Q1 and I was very scripted, it just sounded too salesy. Now I just kind of get on the phone and say, hey, this is what's going on. Did I screw up? How did I do? How can I fix it? And it helps me get back in relationship with them.
Love it. Love it. Okay.
Rick, any questions for Wally? You're muted, Rick. Hang on.
That's amazing lead gen, and I know some people in the has asking questions. Where are you getting these leads to turn around and bring back to your real estate partners?
Yeah, so majority of our leads will do like say Boomtown, Commissions Inc., Zillow, Trulia. Believe it or not, some even do LendingTree.com leads. So they're lead sources. The realtor gets to pick whatever lead source he or she uses. It's completely up to them. They pay for the whole entire thing. What I position myself as is not necessarily the best lead generation loan officer. I position myself as the best lead conversion loan officer. So my ISAs are more talented than their ISAs. My ISAs have more laser focus than theirs. Our scripts, I mean, I've got somebody on my team that does specifically script practice and role play with my agents and also with my inside sales loan officers where they're calling leads, converting into applications. So at the end of the day, that business is such there's a lot of dabbling in that business. And I positioned myself to be an expert to master that business, which has allowed me to grow a lot of purchase market, regular realtor business.
Got it.
Love it. So, hey, Wally, feel free to stay on this. I know you have a few more minutes. I'm going to transition. We're going to interview Rick, and then Dan and I are going to, share some ideas and wrap a bow around this. Any last words of wisdom that you have for the community before you do have to jump?
No, I just simply say, back in 2015, when you got that big jump in business, a lot of that was just candidly me looking at the real estate teams, A, that I work with, or B, that I want to work with, and figure out where they're weak. If I focus consistently on where they're weak or where they're leaving so much meat on the table, where can they actually grow their production, grow their business, and at the end of the day, I can be the reason why they grew their business or why they hit their goals. I position that people on my staff. So today, I've got a person on staff that's a programmer and a coder for CRMs, and also their technology. He also does Facebook landing pages for them. He also helps role-playing script practice with their inside agents. So things that gets me in the game early before the client even lists their house or goes to buy a home whatsoever, before there's any other competition from any other lender out there at all, allows me to get in the game early through lead generation.
Love it. Love it. So something I want to say, I want to draw the attention back to our lead conversion playbook. You'll notice a theme with Kelly. You'll notice a theme with a lot of top mortgage professionals. They're using the Mortgage Coach annual review with their past customers as a lead gen tool. And I'll make the statement right here that if you're not doing that, you're literally walking over dimes, or excuse me, you're walking over dollar bills to pick up dimes. You need to make sure your past customer database is a core strategy. So Rick, before I bring you in, I want to, just summarize the 8 strategies that we have. Getting business from current customers, people that are in escrow now. What can you do to get referrals from them? Past customer database, convert realtors leads, open houses. Hey, the total cost analysis itself, because it's viral and it gets shared, it generates referrals. Every time you give a TPA, there's an opportunity to get referrals as a result of that. Facebook marketing, online reviews, buy leads, do events. By the way, it's not on here yet, but employee benefits programs where you're the lender in the employee benefits programs. So 2 things. One, before I get to you, Rick, if you are in the Mortgage Coach Facebook productivity group, literally, I want you to fill out this survey. I pushed it to the very top. It'll only be here today. I'll keep it in the group, but I'm going to take it off the top at the end of the day. But if you could vote on your top referral sources, even you guys that are on today's call, feel free to multitask, but what are your top referral sources? And you can check multiple options. So you don't have to just check one, but what are, think of the loans that you've closed in the past 60 days, and what are your top referral sources? Please fill out this survey, everybody in the community. So Rick, with all that said, if you could just share what are your current top lead gen strategies, and then Dan and I will drill down on a few of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, I think first and foremost, every single month being consistent with the annual reviews. And I do, my annual review is slightly different than Wally. And, it's just amazing how they both produce quite a lot of business. So, and I guess the message there is pick the way that you want to approach it, and guarantee doing it is actually going to get you some business, no matter which way you go.
So, hey, before you keep going, what do you do that's different than the way Wally does it?
Yeah. So what I do is I set it up where the clients are calling me. And so they're setting up we have a system in which our phone rings where they're calling us for their scheduled time. And so we're not doing outbound calls. I'm not catching them at a bad time or, and having that kind of like, why are you calling me type of conversation. It's getting that phone to ring to me. And certainly we're not probably reaching as many people. However, we're having really focused conversations where we've got a set time frame set aside where I'm able to go a little deeper with them. And we're kind of on the same page. I'm not having to worry about, do they want to talk to me? Like, was this a good transaction that we had 2 years ago? Do they want to hear from me? They've already done that by going and booking a time to speak with me. And I'm now just being proactive. I'm sitting behind my phone and I'm picking the phone up at 12:30 when they're calling in. And then I'm setting the stage with them. And so what I say is, Mr. Johnson, thanks for giving me a call. I want to cover 4 things. First, again, like Wally, how are you guys doing? Like, I want to check in how you're doing, how the kids, check in on the house, how that's performing for you. And are you looking to add anything, add any projects? What have you done since you bought it? We're going to do a quick checkup, see where you're at today compared to what the market's doing today, making sure you're in the best product available. And then I've got a couple questions at the end that I'd love to ask you as well. So, Mr. Johnson's going to take about 15 minutes. Is that cool with you? And it's like, yep, go. And then so you go into it. So what I've done is I've gotten the client to call me. I've set the stage. I've set what I'm looking to get out of the call. And I'm leaving a little teaser at the end that I've got a couple questions to ask at the end. And is that okay? And I get their permission up front. So,
love it.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. You were going to say something else.
Yeah, no. So that's how I do it. And again, when I coach loan officers across the country around this system, you hear their biggest fear and frustration is picking up the phone because maybe they don't remember if it was a good transaction. They don't know if they want to be, talked to. You don't want to catch people off guard. And so with my system, I just take all of that worry out. Like if they're going to book a time to talk to you, then they do want to talk to you. And quite frankly, I've had six this week, and 3 people are able to help. And out of all 6, I was able to refer out either a financial planner, estate planner, my insurance agent, or a CPA. So I get something essentially out of every call, at least this week I have. And and I'm not too worried about converting a refi that just happened.
So Wally, I'm going to let you ask Rick one question in 1 minute. Anybody who's watching this, I have a LinkedIn article on Rick's process. So I'm going to put a link below where I literally broke it down, scripted it. And I've interviewed Rick a couple times on his process. So if you want to drill down on his process, click below. I've also interviewed Wally in more details around his process. Hey, Wally, any quick questions for Rick before I know you have to jump?
A question, yes, but first, gratitude. I remember when I was going down this journey of annual mortgage reviews, I asked Dave who's the best in his community that does annual mortgage reviews, and he said you, Rick. So I'll definitely be watching every video I can get a hold of and just making notes of how I can build a model that I can reduplicate and scale through annual mortgage reviews. So thank you so much for the content you put out, and definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You bet.
Any quick questions, Wally?
Yeah, so technology. So you said earlier, so we use Schedule once.
Mm-hmm.
Wally, you cut out. Wally, you cut out. Hey, Wally, are you talking? Okay, we lost Wally, guys. So sorry about that, Wally. I think where he was going was technology. What are you using to, make it easy for the customer, the family to schedule an appointment with you? And how long is that appointment?
Yeah, so the way we do it is an email goes out. Now, email goes out customized to the client via a mail merge within Outlook. So we use Outlook, mail merge it. We say their name within the paragraph, so they really think it's customized. But we're sending out 150 within 30 seconds. So that's the first one. We use Schedule Once with inside that allows them to book a time. I have it blocked off for 15 minutes. In my schedule, I've got a buffer of another 15 in case we go over. A couple days after that, we'll send out a slide broadcast to everybody's cell phone, reminding them to go if they haven't already booked a time. And then a couple of days after that, whoever's left, get another quick email, 2-liners. Hey, we'd love to catch up when you have some time. Here's the link. And then we're off to the next month. So that's essentially the technology we use along with, the scripting that we use.
And then one question, then Dan, I'll let you ask the next one. What are some other strategies you're doing? So, you're obviously getting realtor referrals. You're obviously doing a great job delivering a total cost analysis to everyone.
Yep.
You're doing a great job with your past customers. What else are you doing from a lead development perspective?
It's really just intertwining myself with my real estate agent partners. It's along that concept of bulletproofing those relationships, because we all know how, we've all heard it, you're as good as your last deal. And I can honestly tell you, I've got probably 25 to 26 agents that they can never say that. And so it's really spending a lot of my time belly to belly, face to face with my real estate partners, adding more value than any other agent or the loan officer can. So when someone does get in front of my real estate agents, and what does everybody talk about? I've got great rates, I've got great service, I've got great programs, that their eyes glaze over and they go, you know what? I'm in a partnership with Rick, and he just adds a lot more value to my business than someone that's just talking rates, product, and programs.
So by the way, I remember when I interviewed you with that realtor mastermind. By the way, I'm going to put a link down below to that too, because Rick does an incredible job of masterminding with agents. So, one, he's giving value back by helping them connect with their, not their direct competitors, but their, mastermind peers. And then, by the way, he's becoming about the smartest loan officer on realtor success because he's doing these. So link down below. I know that is one of your core strategies. Dan, any questions for Rick?
I love I'm the guy on the call that has not really gone and jumped in on the annual review program. So you and Wally have both motivated the heck out of me because you guys you're seeing a lot of success with it. I think my biggest hang up so far has been, they're good. One, they're good. They have a great rate. Two, I don't want to bug them because when I've done them in the past, it's been like, hey man, I'm good. And it was like, you could feel them wanting to get off the phone. So your approach just made a light bulb go off in my head that, okay, here's what we need to do. We need to send out the email. We need to prompt them, provide value around that 15-minute conversation to get them to want to schedule it and go from there. So that was a big aha for me.
Yeah, and that's that's great feedback because that is the biggest roadblock. But here's the cool thing is, I was able to help 3 people in refinances today. And just to give you an idea, I took a client out of a 3.375 FHA loan and got them out and I wouldn't have called them otherwise. We've gotten some, cash out refinances now that the equity lines aren't tax deductible. So you don't know what's in their life. So you assuming that they're okay, right? Because we all go to our, 30-year fixed at 4.5, I can get them to 4. There's a refi opportunity. But I'll tell you, by you getting on the phone with them and asking some really great questions, coming at it as an educator, you just not looking to sell them a new loan, right? But really just getting into their world for a minute, checking in on what's going on. You uncover a lot of context that you can, get them into an adjustable rate if they're short term. So if you can get that thing out of the story that they're good, I can tell you that the majority of refis that I do from the annual review, I would look at a piece of paper and say, oh, they're good, So, and then the other thing too, that, I was just at a dinner party the other day with a financial planner, a big financial planner in our marketplace. And he introduced me to this group of 10 people that I was the biggest connector and his biggest referral source. And, people are like, how is that? And the only one thing I could say is it's the annual review process, because every person, those 4 questions at the end that I ask people is, hey, Mr. Johnson, do you rate, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how is your relationship with your financial planner? And I'll tell you, I would say 70% of the time they laugh and say it's them. Or they laugh and say, I don't know, it's with my HR department at my job. And I meet with them every couple of years. So come at this of I'm about to rock this client's world that's about to call me, because I'm going to be able to set them up and get their lives in a better position with an estate plan. You've blown away how many people that own a home and 2 kids and they don't even have a simple will. You're about to change their world. You're about to get them protected. So yeah, man, it's when you can come at it I'm about to change some people's lives, it makes getting on that call a lot easier.
Yeah.
So by the way, guys, I am showing the article that I wrote with Rick, but I did it inspired by the interview that I had with him on scheduling annual reviews. So you want to go through the system, you want to break it down, scripts, details, it's all right here. Even the email, a sample of the email that he's sending out to clients. By the way, Rick, has this email changed much?
Nope.
Cool. And remember, everybody is getting the total cost analysis. It powers that annual review. So Rick, would love to have you stay on the call. I want to focus on Dan now. One, what is he doing? And then in the last few minutes of the call, we'll just debrief on key concepts. But anything else you want to share, Rick, before we close out with Dan?
I'm complete, man.
So Dan, you've heard the conversation that we've had. You've read the playbook. what are some things that you're doing that you think we should talk about as we close this out? And then you and I will both debrief in the last few minutes with action plans for the community.
Yeah, I think a few weeks ago when you reached out to me about being on this call and it centered around your playbook, your lead generation playbook, I said the timing couldn't be better. I've been, over the past 2 years, there's been two focuses in my business. One is getting a better understanding of culture. As I migrated into branch management and leadership, I really wanted to have a better idea of how some of these companies just have this incredible culture. So that was one thing. The second has been lead generation and lead conversion. And it really, over the last 6 to 8 months, has been something that is everywhere. In my office, like if you look behind me, it cost me about $500 to make that. But that's essentially the roadmap or the pyramid to $120 million in production, which is my goal this year. And it's centered around referral accounts and how to go out and prospect new accounts, how to get referrals from existing accounts or better referrals from existing accounts. And so prospecting is really, really big on my mind right now, and it's really big in my business. And this call has just been great for me. It's been an eye-opener for as far as annual reviews. But really what I am right now is I'm really front-end heavy, new business heavy. I'll give you a good example. So this month, I'm going to close 35 loans in August. I'm looking at my lead tracker right now. So that's 5 past client referrals, 2 personal friends, 4 from Yelp, and 24 from realtors. Okay. And that's pretty congruent.
Wait, time out. How many from Yelp?
4.
That's, first of all, that's solid for online reviews.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody, and by the way, if you are getting business from online reviews, whether they're Google reviews, Yelp reviews, please answer the question in the survey that we put out there. And by the way, let's close a little bit on that. But anyways, continue going. I just wanted to make sure we put an explanation mark on it.
Dan, are you spending any money with Yelp?
Zero money on Yelp. Zero. The only money that I'm going to spend is when I do a home buyer class. I will run Facebook ads to basically boost an event. That's really it. And that's minimal. That's no more than probably $650 is the most I've spent in 1 month on Facebook ads. So, but that breakdown of the numbers is pretty congruent where my efforts are. Most of my efforts are with real estate agents. I am doing a lot better job with my past clients, with videos. I do a weekly video. That's been a big, I've seen that make a big impact in my business over the last 2 years. Just that weekly video. And then obviously sharing it out on social media. But, I think from a prospecting standpoint and lead generation standpoint, part of that too is you can prospect all you want, but if you can't convert and close, it doesn't matter. And so along the lines of prospecting, I've just been really focused on how to close, how to convert better. And that's the one thing that I can tell you that I've learned in talking with high-producing salespeople, not just loan officers. These are $1 million wage earners in sales. Is that confidence is key. Competence is key. But the number one thing, I read a study. This was probably about 3 months ago, and this kind of woke me up a little in regards to my mortgage planning meetings. Is that the National Association of Realtors released a study of the top 3 reasons why people choose a realtor to list their house. And, everyone thinks that, hey, real estate agents are referred, so they're going to go with someone that they know, like, and trust, or, that, hey, I'm going to choose someone that was referred to me, or, other ways, other reasons why they might choose from an ad. And what I found from that study is, and this is from the National Association of Realtors, is they said that people choose real estate agents for one reason and one reason only, and that's from results. So their ability to show the public, whether it's on social media, whether it's on their website, that they get results. And so the second reason is competency in regards to market knowledge. But what I did is I went back and kind of redid, without it looking too salesy, configured my mortgage planning meeting to really find out the meeting, find out what the client's looking for. Because we think as loan officers, everyone's looking for the best rate. And that might be the conversation starter. But if you ask the right questions and you really find out what they're looking for, they're looking to buy a house to raise their family in. They're looking to buy in a community, in a school district. And so when you can kind of take the focus and put it on that, and the value is getting that house in that community and us being that missing link. I'm in Seattle, super techie. Everyone's going to the internet. Rate is an issue on every single client that I meet. And this has helped me. I'm hearing it in my office. I'm coaching my loan officers on this. I'm on social media and I'm seeing this all the time. The people are getting beat up on rate. People are getting shopped to death. But there's a way to win with rate shoppers. You're doing a great job with that, Dave, and getting that information out. But in my office, what I'm doing right now is I'm putting the focus on what the client really wants and then showing that we have the proven results, because that's, again, National Association of Realtors said that's what the consumer wants. They want to know that the person they're working with is going to give them results.
I love that. So we've only got a few minutes left, but I love, by the way, and I've already got some things that I'm going to add to the lead generation playbook. And one of those is just that principle you made. All the best loan officers that do the best job on lead gen, they've got an airtight, optimized conversion system and platform. Again, this is the most viewed, most liked, most, highest impact LinkedIn article that I've published, which is the lead conversion playbook. If you're on this call and you have not studied this or read this, highly recommend that you do. We go through the principles of conversion, and then we share I think it's 13 strategies that we're up to optimize conversion. So make sure you study this and take action on this. And Dan, you help remind me that, hey, in the lead generation playbook, we need to add conversion as one of the core principles. And then you also, just by the fact that you're getting the kind of business that you're getting from Yelp, we need to make sure we really study different loan officers that are getting business through that channel. Rick, do you have any questions from Dan after hearing him go?
No, I just listen. Dan's a stud, and I love watching you on social media, kid. I'm trying to zig and zag and watch what you're up to, man. You're up to big things. So, no, man, just keep killing it, and yeah, you're doing awesome.
Thank you.
So, Dan, hey, as we wrap this up, I have my parting words of wisdom, but what would you say, just as a leader, because you've really, you've gone from top producer to team leader. Now you're branch manager. And by the way, you're a leader in the mortgage coach community. So, to all the loan officers, that are listening in as a leader, what's some parting advice when it comes to lead generation?
Yeah. So I just had our quarterly branch meeting last Friday. And my message to all my loan officers here in our branch is that in December and January of this year, 40% of our business is going to go away. Okay, this is the mentality that you need to have right now as a loan officer, that you're going to have 40% less leads, 40% less volume. What are you doing right now from a lead generation standpoint, from a daily activity standpoint, to bridge that gap from where your goals are, where you are supposed to be from a monthly production standpoint, knowing that there's going to be a little bit of a storm ahead? And I'm not saying this, am I worried? I'm not scared at all. I am not scared one bit. I'm going to work harder. And I'm going to coach harder, and I'm going to train my loan officers a little bit more aggressively. But it's it's all about lead generation right now. Going out and building better relationships with realtors, going out and working open houses, making sure you're in front of more people that can help send you business. And then my other message is you've got to get darn good at sales. You've got to be able to close a deal. And I think we've been spoiled over the last few years where we've been charming. The whole know, like, and trust is BS. I think the know, like, and trust, you people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. I think at the end of the day, that's a tiebreaker. I think the reason why people are going to do business with you is because of results, because you're the expert. And so I think moving into this new market, you've got to be able to close a deal. So tighten up your closing skills, prospect your ass off, and you're going to be fine.
Yeah, love it. So you just reminded me on closing thoughts. Everything matters. Every deal matters. Deliver the total cost analysis so that not only do you deliver a differentiated experience, but it's a referral magnet. They're going to share it 3 to 6 times.
Yep.
Make sure you're getting every 5-star customer experience equals an online review, because now that's a referral magnet. Make sure that you're hitting your past customer database like never before, because 1, it's loans, and 2, it's referrals that you can give to your wealth team. So there's a lot we didn't get to in today's call, but by the way, we covered a lot. If you got value from this and you're watching the recording, give it a like. Please share it with your team. We want to get this message out. We want to help you as a referral-based local originator kill it. I do believe the best years are ahead, but you got to do the right things like never before. Hey, Rick, thank you, my friend, for making time and being on the whole call. Dan Keller, awesome to have you, brother. Thanks for all the value you bring to our community.
See you guys.
This call is a wrap. Take care, everybody.